Welcome to this session on the product owner role in OutSystems teams. In this session, we'll discuss what is expected from a product owner, from their core competencies to additional competencies they may need. We'll also talk about what it means to have a product owner mindset. So what is expected from a product owner? A product owner is responsible for a number of different things in the solution, like creating a vision, making sure that they understand the business context and the challenges, and can think about the strategy and scale while helping define the business vision. They'll need to identify core processes, personas, their needs, and the top user stories. In general, design a solution and propose its overall implementation. They also have the responsibility of representing the business so that there's constant business and IT alignment. They need to challenge decisions that will be against the real business vision, and they need to be able to say no in difficult contexts. They also need to own the functional design, so they need to own the solution and be familiar with it from back to front, as well as all of the business processes, the users supporting it. They need to be able to demonstrate the solution and tell compelling stories about it. They need to actively participate in the requirements gathering, the business analysis, the design, and the overall rollout of the solution. They also need to be able to convey business vision to the delivery team and represent the business for them. They'll also try to deliver the maximum value, so they'll be focusing on the business value and on the project's overall vision, and trying to use that to help with prioritization and decision making. Besides the solution, they're also responsible for backlog management, ensuring that backlog management principles and best practices are being used while writing user stories, grooming, and prioritization. They need to be very pragmatic and understand the context of the problems and aim for simple solutions, sort of following the 80-20 rule, where we focus on the core first and the details later. They'll also need to have a great deal of organizational awareness. They need to know the overall organizational goals. They need to know how the project and solution map to those goals, who the stakeholders, promoters, and detractors are, what their motivations and expectations might be. They also need to be aware of organizational changes that could pose threats or provide opportunities. And they need to understand the organization's culture so that they can position these solutions to fit with that overall culture. They also need to deal with change management. They'll need to understand the business impact of any changes to the solution. So helping the business ensure that the preparation of the individuals, teams, and organizations that are going to be using the solution will be ready for any of the changes. They'll also need to define the rollout plan and work with the tech lead to make sure that all the value the business is expecting is provided. So what else is expected from a product owner? Well, depending on the project size or how the team roles are split, there may be other competencies that a product owner needs to fill. So in the team overview, we mentioned that we could be in a foundational situation where we have a very small team, or we could be up in a larger center of excellence situation where there are a lot of other people helping with the project. If we're in a smaller foundational type of situation, then we may find that the product owner has to do some project management. They have to do impact analysis on some of the changes that might be there because there's no project manager to do that. So they'll need to determine the functional impact for different requirements and figure out the changes for the implemented solution. They may need to worry about budget control in the absence of a project manager. They may need to worry about the user experience promotion if we don't have a UX expert. They may have to worry about the delivery process ownership if there's no agile coach or someone working on the overall delivery process. And they may need to worry about quality control if there isn't a tester, a dedicated tester, or QA coordinator. because ensuring the completion of all test cases to make sure we meet the acceptance criteria is very important. And there may need to be times at which the product owner helps with some of the functional tests or following up on the iteration tests to make sure user acceptance testing has gone well. Now, if that's all the things that the product owner may have to do, that seems like a lot, and they could be very pulled in many different directions. So what does the product owner's mindset need to be? Well, the product owner needs to focus on business alignment, constantly challenging decisions and making sure that things agree with the real business vision. They need to have that organizational context awareness so that they can detect any threats and potentially help the business get familiar with the overall solution that's going to be provided. Project steering, where they plan and deliver toward the goal and they focus on what the users really need. And what the user really needs implies that the product owner has the ability to distinguish between what the users ask for and what the business wants them to have or what they really need. Communication hub. They need to know all of the different people in the organization and be able to put the right people in touch with the other parties. And they need to do all of that in a timely fashion so that there are no bottlenecks. And they have to think of and act like the user. So they need to impersonate the user to focus on the overall business value and make sure the users will be happy in the end. So that's it for this session on the product owner and OutSystems teams. Thanks for watching and have a great day.